Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
So Big G Creative decided to jump into board game world, and they decided their first 3 games will be packaged as one. You can have Heinz Ketchup, a Jell-o game, and a Kraft Mac and Cheese. Somebody was probably either high or hungry when this was being created. All 3 games are pretty terrible. I'd probably put Heinz as the best one, and then probably the Jell-o. All the slapping doesn't really work for us. I don't like it when the kids are hitting each other. And then the Kraft Macaroni and Cheese is almost an incoherent game. I don't know why that it exists. Well, I don't know why any of these 3 games exist based on these brands, but I think it's a kind of funny, kind of clever thing as a gag or a novelty gift. 3 bad games does not make a good game, and that's what you're going to have here. Is you're going to have some variety. It does give you 3, and it's kind of funny how the packaging looks. And everything is pretty good until you sit down to actually play the game. But I don't think that this was invented to actually play the games. I think the games are almost tacked on for the packaging. You're going to look at this variety game pack with the games inside, and you're going to be like, oh, that's pretty cute, clever. Let's buy this as a gag or one of those exchanges that will be going on. But I don't think anything anybody's going to sit down and go, wow, that was a good experience. Let's do that again. Absolute purge. If you see this on the shelf, pass it on by. Nothing to see here. Here is the Heinz Tomato Ketchup Dice game. You can see it comes in packaging that kind of looks like a Heinz Tomato Ketchup. You're going to open it up. You're going to get your instruction booklet. You're going to get a little scoring sheet that will be here. You're going to get a small pencil. And you're going to get 5 dice. Now, these are kind of generic dice, very cheap plastic, and they come stickered, but they are just stickers that are put on there with the different logos from the different ketchup bottles that you're going to have. This will be your dice cup when you play. As you can tell, it's pretty loud, but those are the components. Here is the Jell-o Jiggler Slap. It comes in like what look like kind of a Jell-o box here. You are going to open it up on one of the sides, and you're going to have a deck of cards inside, actually 2 decks of cards. A red set, which will be your slapping set, and then these will be what you're trying to collect. The cards are okay. You can see they have Jell-o molds on these, and then on these it'll have the exact same packaging with the molds on it. It'll tell you kind of what you're going to do, left hand, etc. So the cards are okay, not too bad, but that's what you're going to get in the box. The quality of these are mass market, nothing to write home about. Here is the Kraft Macaroni and Cheese game. You can see the box has a little tracker on the back that will be utilized for the game, and it's kind of set up to look exactly like a box of Kraft and Macaroni and Cheese. You're going to get these cardboard little noodles, I guess, and they're super cheap. I mean, these are just as generic as they could be. You're going to get Cheezosaurus Rex. He's pretty cool. My kid likes him. And you're going to get a bunch of mass market cards. These are pretty cheap. They're fine. They have the number on it and the noodles on it. You have some Cheezosaurus Rex cards that'll be in here. The components are fine. Like I said, you'll be using the box as a board. That's fine too. Here are the rules. It's just a small piece of paper. There's no picture of the components, no pictures at all, and no examples. The rules are kind of a little bit confusing. I've seen some people have some issues with them. Probably would have been better off with a chart instead of just working out like this, but probably need 2 or 3 minutes to read through it. Here's the rule book. You can see there's no pictures or examples, no picture of the contents, although the contents are listed here. There's the main way to play, and then on the back there's a different game, but this is the one we're going to focus on, which is the main game. You probably need less than 3 minutes to read through this, and you'll be up and playing. Here's a rule book. You get a little page here. There's a list of the components, but no pictures. As a matter of fact, there's no pictures in here at all, and no examples. The rules are fairly simple to get through. Probably need a minute or 2 to be able to get through this game and be able to learn how to play. Game is easy. On your turn, you're going to put the dice in the dice cup, and you're going to roll the dice. If you don't like the results, you can do up to 2 rerolls, and then when you reroll, you're stuck with that roll. What you're trying to do is get ketchup labels, and you're going to get a point for each one. If you roll a bottle, that's a 5-point bonus, and if you were to roll all ketchup labels, you get a 5-point bonus. If it includes a label, then you're going to get to 10 because this is worth 5. The negative point is if you roll all 5 mustard or all 5 sweet relish, for some reason that's negative 10 points. That's all the game is. And whoever gets closest to 57, oh, you have a 57 Heinz on here too. There's also a Heinz 57, so if you roll this, you can always do a reroll no matter what. That can kind of save you. The trick of the game is to get closest to 57 points. If you go over 57, you bust. Let's say you got 55 points. You're like, yeah, I don't want to roll again. I might bust. Then what you would do is you would just say, ketchup, and then you're out, and everybody else would continue to roll. That's kind of how you play Catch Up the Dice game. So what you're going to do is you're going to have the Jell-o molds all kind of set up here, and then whoever's turn it is will take the deck of cards, and they'll announce, left hand, strawberry. You got to take your left hand and slap the strawberry. If you're the first one to slap it, then you gain the card. And what you're trying to do is gain one of each. But if somebody said, left hand strawberry, and you tap it, and you already have one, then you lose it, and it goes back. So there's different cards. They'll have the different stuff, right hand, left hand. There's a jiggle one, so if you want this, you got to kind of jiggle your body before you grab it. And that's pretty much how you play Jell-o the Jiggler game. There are two ways to win the game. One, get rid of all your noodles, or get rid of all of the cards in your hand. On your turn, you're going to roll the 2 dice. If I rolled a 4, if you have a 4, you will simply discard it. If you don't have a 4, then the other players can discard from their hand. If you were to roll a 7, Cheezosaurus Rex will move up on the track, and it will tell you here how many noodles you have to give up, and you have to throw those into the pot. Unless you can play a Cheezosaurus Rex card. If you have a Cheezosaurus Rex card, then you don't have to give up any noodles when Cheezosaurus Rex moves up. That's the entire game. Roll the dice. If you have a card that matches it, discard it. Otherwise, everybody else can do that. Who should buy this game? Absolutely nobody. I mean, maybe as a gag gift or a novelty, or one of those like Christmas exchange where like you have to rob the presents from each other. I think this one would get a pretty good laugh out of that. Maybe mass market people who don't play a lot of games and they have some kind of affection for Heinz Ketchup, then, you know, they want to play the Heinz Ketchup game. Maybe that would be okay. Or if you knew somebody who's really into Kraft Macaroni and Cheese, I mean, you laugh, but my kids are into this, and my 4-year-old points at this. It's probably the most played game we have in 2022, just because my 4-year-old constantly looks at, Daddy, I want to play the Kraft Macaroni and Cheese game, and then, you know, a minute and a half into it, he's bored to death. So, you know, it is what it is. Absolute purge, nothing to see here. Maybe as a novelty gift.